Across history, ordinary people have done extraordinary things. They've cared for each other. They've built communities and raised families. But they've also followed orders. Orders that have often led to harm. Orders that went against their gut instinct. Orders that went against empathy and conscience. So the question is not why monsters do terrible things, but more why ordinary people sometimes comply so easily. History is filled with moments where individuals acted not from personal hatred, but from instruction. When people are told that things are necessary, or it's for your safety, maybe it is to provide order, and it will be for the greater good. Often, those instructions came from institutions that people trusted, be it your government or religious authorities. Maybe medical bodies provided the script, or we receive a military command. The people carrying them out were rarely villains in their own minds. They were participants in a system. Humans are social beings, and we evolve in groups where survival depends on cooperation and where trust in leadership could mean the difference between life and death. Obedience, in that context, makes sense. Following these instructions will reduce the often engineered chaos and maintain stability. But in complex societies, that same instinct can be redirected. Authority can feel legitimate even when its outcomes are unclear. And when responsibility is shared across thousands or millions of people, individual doubt becomes easier to ignore. Large systems rarely ask one person to do everything. Instead, tasks are divided. One person will write the policy, while another enforces it and another would record it. Each role appears small, procedural even, and no single action feels decisive. Responsibility becomes distributed, and when responsibility is shared, accountability often feels distant. Compliance becomes even easier when a threat is hard to see, when an enemy that cannot be clearly identified or a danger that may be present anywhere. Fear of the unknown encourages trust in authority, and in times of crisis, people often look outward for guidance. And guidance, once accepted, can become instruction. And this is when the grip begins, because instruction soon becomes expectation, which becomes obligation. Belief systems help people feel connected. They provide identity, meaning, and shared purpose. But when belief becomes closely tied to group loyalty, questioning instructions can feel like betrayal. And when doubt feels like disloyalty, hesitation then becomes risk. In those moments, conscience competes with belonging, and belonging often wins. Understanding why people follow orders should not be about blame. It should be about recognizing a pattern that appears throughout our history. That once belief can be organized into obedience, it becomes important to understand why obedience may be one of the most important questions we can ask. As we know, systems are built from people, and people are capable of reflection. If you'd like to explore how belief becomes structure and how structure shapes behaviour, the Cosmic Lies series on the Stellify channel looks at these patterns in more depth.